Hey y'all, so I'm back today. It's basically going to be all about mistakes and things that transitioners make while trying to transition to natural. So if you see me looking down, it's because I'm looking down at my phone and I wrote the stuff down. But yeah, so let's just get right into it.
So what you wanna talk about? Yeah, you know what I'm all about. They say it's
Number one, I can say transitioners, they get excited. They're like, oh my god, I'm gonna transition to natural and my curls are gonna be popping, da 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 da. And they go out and just buy every new product, any product that they seen anybody on YouTube using, or any product they seen on commercials. No go. What you need to do is finish out all the products that you have been using on your hair before. You don't want to go out and spend all this money on new products and you don't even know if they're going to work for your hair. So you want to always continue on with the products that you know your hair is used to and all of those things, because I mean, becoming natural and transitioning and your hair changing and all that stuff, it really becomes expensive. Like if you're anything like me, when I was transitioning, I wanted to try everything. And if you know you're going to be one of those people, you need to sign up for like one of the subscription boxes, like curl box or curl kit, because that's what I did. Basically you get like a couple full-size products and samples every month, and I think it's like $25 and $30. So if you know you're going to be one of those people, make sure you get a subscription box so you're not just out just buying everything. Piggybacking off of that, number two, you want to make sure you're introducing new products to your hair one at a time. Because if you're trying two new products together and your wash and go or your twist out or whatever turns out just terrible, you don't know if it was this one or this one, you know. So you want to try piece of lint flying around. You want to try you know, new products one at a time, because you just want to figure out what works for your hair. You don't want to make it harder to figure out like, well, I think it was this one but it probably was the other one, you know what I'm saying? So just make sure you're introducing new products one at a time. For my transitioners, one thing that all of you guys will have is the line of demarcation. I'm gonna see if I can find a picture and I'll put it on the screen, but it's basically where your natural texture is, or your curl or your coil, and where that relaxed or colored piece of hair meet. So that line where you can see where the two textures meet, you want to pay attention to that, and you want to be careful, because having two textures, three textures, you know, can make your hair really dry. You need to make sure you stay moisturizing your hair and all of that stuff. Use things with like oils and water based and stuff like that, because your hair does get really thirsty. Simply because if you don't, the line of demarcation, whether it's right here or down here, that's where your hair is going to start breaking. It doesn't matter how long your natural hair is and then how short the straight end is. Wherever that line of demarcation is, if your hair gets too dry, that's where your hair is going to start breaking off. So you want to always pay attention to that. For my transitioning people, this is like funny to me, because these are tips that I wish somebody would have gave me when I was transitioning, because it was a struggle. You don't want to try and guess your curl pattern, because once you get caught up in all the curl typing and all that stuff before you even cut off your relaxed ends or your colored ends or whatever, you're gonna be stuck on trying to get stuff that's for 4C hair or 3C hair, and you may not even have that kind of hair. Because one thing I can say, the way your curls look when you're transitioning versus when you actually cut it all off and you're completely natural is so different. It looks nothing like that anymore. So don't get caught up in all the hair typing and all that stuff. Just enjoy, you know, growing out your natural hair. If you're trying to transition, you want to start by treating your transitioning hair as you would your natural hair. Practice makes perfect. So if you want to become natural and you don't want to put heat on your hair, you want to stop putting heat on your hair and things like that, you can't say, oh well, I'm just gonna use heat this one time. You need to just stop all of it at once. So do twist outs, bantu knots, braid outs, all of that stuff. When I was transitioning, my go-to was braid outs and perm rods at the end for my straight heat damaged ends. So you always want to practice, because you're trying to get to, you know, you're trying to get to where you're going. You're trying to be natural, so you need to treat your hair like it is natural, so you can have some type of practice when it's time. And when your hair all natural, you're not like, oh my god, I don't know what to do with it. So you want to kind of treat your hair like it's already natural. Basically, get used to sporting the curls, even if it's not your natural curls. Like I said, the braid out with the perm rods was my go-to. Then it was the bantu knots, flexi rod sets, perm rod sets, all of that stuff. Just treat it like it's already natural. And it's so easy to manipulate natural hair and transitioning hair to where it looks like your hair is, you know, naturally curly, and then once it gets like 2-day and 3-day hair, it looks like it could be your naturally curly hair. So you might as well just, you know, get used to it. For my people who always want to talk about big chopping, if you're transitioning, one thing I can say, if you're all about length and you're just so scared to have, you know, short hair, or, you know, so a look that's not normal to you, don't worry about big chopping, basically, because you'll know when it's time to big chop. Because I said I was transitioning for like about 2 years, my junior and my senior year, and actually it was 3 years, and then my freshman year of college. When I came back from my freshman year of college, I had got a weave. I took the weave out, and I was just sitting in the mirror. I'm like, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of the two textures. I'm tired of not being able to do wash and go. I'm tired of, you know, just having to deal with these two textures and dealing with the dryness and all of that stuff. And I cut it. You'll get tired. Just like if you gotta walk everywhere, you're gonna get tired of walking. You're like, let me stop playing and let me save up and get me a car. You're gonna get fed up, and you're gonna do what you need to do, and you'll be happy with it, because it'll be like a weight lifted off your shoulders. Like when I cut my hair, it was short, like this short, but I was so happy. I was so happy. So just wait. Don't pressure yourself to big chop. Don't let nobody pressure you to big chop, because you'll know when it's time. I would say don't idolize or fantasize or fall in love with someone else's natural. That is a big deal, because, you know, as a transitioner, you're watching people who already have natural hair on YouTube, and you're like, oh my god, like, I want my hair to be just like hers, this, that, and the other. And you're like, oh my god, I think my curl texture is something like theirs. But one thing I can say, whether it's, what is it, the 3C, 4C, 3B, 4B hair, everybody's hair is still different, whether or not it's that kind of texture or that's their curl pattern. Everybody's hair is going to be different. Your hair may need what someone else's hair doesn't. Don't fall in love with someone else's natural, because you'll be disappointed when, you know, you get all your natural hair and it's not how their hair was looking. You know what I'm saying? So you need to fall in love with your hair, fall in love with your mane, fall in love with what you got going. Because if you focused on somebody else's growth on their hair, who's gonna love your hair? Because at the end of the day, you gotta deal with your hair, not somebody else. So you need to make sure you, like, I mean, it's cool to take tips from people, of course, but don't be like, oh my god, I want my hair just like that, because you're gonna be disappointed. You are. So just don't set yourself up. Don't play yourself. Just don't do yourself dirty like that. For transitioning hair, even though after you big chop, your hair's technically natural, you're still kind of transitioning after 3 months that you big chop. Like, so when you big chop your hair, don't even disappoint yourself expecting your hair to be all curly and coily, because your hair, it's kind of going to be like a fro. It's just going to look like a dry fro all the time, no matter what you do. Like, it's not going to have any type of curl definition, curl pattern, or anything like that. And it's so weird. I don't know why that happens, but after a couple months, then your true curl pattern will start to show through and things of that nature. But like I said, when you big chop, you just want to make sure that you do, you know, a lot of twist outs and things like that. For people who want their curl pattern to show quicker, I don't know why I did the quotes. I did see this method when I first cut off my hair, where you can finger coil your hair and keep finger coiling it, and it helps your curls clump together, and that way they will be more, you know, spirally and all that good stuff. And Lastly, you guys want to make sure that you always get your ends trimmed. That's a big mistake that a lot of transitioners make, because they feel like, first of all, when you get your ends trimmed, it helps. One thing I did was, when I would get my ends trimmed, I would get like an inch cut off of the damaged ends. So instead of big chopping all at once, I did that for a while, like for a couple of months. You always want to trim, because your hair is not going to be able to flourish. Your curls ain't going to be all bouncy and coily and things like that if you got the dead, dry, straight ends pulling your curls down. Like, they weigh your hair down. So your curl, it's not even going to be a curl. It could be a wave. And it might not even be that. Like, it all might be straight. But once you cut off them dead ends, you know, you might be seeing some life brought back into your hair. You know what I'm saying? This is basically all I had. I'll probably come up with some more, but those are the only ones I could think of when I was trying to come up with some things. So I hope this helped somebody. If it did, make sure you hit the thumbs up button. So yeah, like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, and I will see y'all in the next one.